Hello and welcome back. In this video, we're going to talk about development environment. Alright, so we're going to install two main softwares that are going to help us in terms of building incredible websites as we go further. So we are going to use these two softwares primarily throughout the entirety of the course. So make sure you have these both installed. The first software is Google Chrome, the web browser, and the second software is Visual Studio Code. Alright, it's a code editor. I'm going to talk about what a code editor is, but before that, let's make sure you have Google Chrome installed. Alright, it's going to look something like this. This is a web browser. So we usually use Google Chrome to surf the web, but for in this case, we're going to use it for web development. Alright, so enough of watching websites or visiting websites. Now it's time to create websites. Alright, so the other next software is Visual Studio Code. Alright, it's a code editor. So in order to download Visual Studio Code, what you have to do is you have to go to google.com, search for Visual Studio Code download. Alright, and you're going to get the first link, which is code.visualstudio.com. So you're going to click on that link, then you're going to get a website or a web page. In that page, you have three different versions of Visual Studio Code. Depending upon your operating system, you can click on it. If you're using Windows, you can download the Windows one. If you're using Linux, you can download Linux, or if you're using Mac, you can download Mac. Alright, so just download that and have it installed. So I just installed Visual Studio Code on my system and it's going to look something like this. Alright, so like I said, Visual Studio Code is a code editor. So what does a code editor do? Alright, so code editor basically allows us to kind of edit code very easily. We can usually edit code in Notepad or any other text editor, for example, but it's a lot better if you do it in Visual Studio Code or something similar to this. We have several more code editors in the market, for example, Sublime Text, Atom, but for this entire course, we're going to be using Visual Studio Code because it is a lot more easier to learn or easier to get started with, as well as we have all the features that we want for a web developer to have in this particular piece of software. Alright, so I hope you have these two installed. So we'll talk about how to create our first website, which is very exciting in the next class. Alright, I'll see you there.